welcome back to the Rise and Align podcast, where we talk about all things high vibrational. We are your hosts. My name is Halie.
And I'm Demi, and today we're doing an episode on Feng Shui. So if you don't already know what that means, the term actually stands for wind water. And what it is balancing the elements throughout your home of water, earth, metal, wood, and fire in order to create harmony and flow, not only in your home, but in your life. So this is another wonderful tool to use for manifestation to create the environment that you want to align with. So if you want your home to be really calming, like especially your bedroom or your relaxation spaces, you can use Feng Shui to make the room feel better and bring more good feeling into your reality.
Yes, exactly. I feel like Feng Shui and just pairing that with some of the more like spiritual or witchy practices that I have learned over the years has been a really great tool for me to create an environment that feels good. And like you said, you can make each room different and you can play around with where things are in different shapes and colors and textures. And then you can even take that to a whole deeper level with the energies of each thing. And I love that Feng Shui has to do with the elements, because we're always coming back to like the building blocks of life, which I think is so special and honestly so magical. So I'm excited to get into this episode. And the first thing that I can share, or the first tip that I have, is really in regards to the entryway of your home. So in Feng Shui, the entryway of your home is where the energy comes into your home, and it is kind of known as the mouth of your home. So it's really important to keep that space clear, not cluttery, not anything that is just kind of stagnant, sitting there and not have much meaning to it. So I highly recommend just cleaning your entryway regularly, keeping it organized, making it a happy, beautiful place that calls in the energy that you want to bring into your home, generally speaking. And also, sweeping regularly, mopping that area regularly, physically and energetically. There is a witchy practice where you kind of sweep your space, but you think of it more so energetically, like kind of sweeping away the stagnant energy. That is a great practice to do in your entryway. And then also another more witchy tip to go along with that is like putting a wreath or a garland outside of your door that represents energy that you want to call in. So say you want to kind of have more protection using florals or natural elements that represent more of that protective nature to protect negativity from coming into your home. So there's so many different like DIY wreaths that you can make yourself, or obviously you can buy them as well. And then lastly, plants are a major component of Feng Shui, and in your entryway, you can keep a snake plant in that area because the leaves kind of represent like swords. So it's kind of a symbol of like protection at your entryway, as far as just like protecting what comes into your home and keeping that like a welcoming space free of any negativity coming in.
I love that tip. I would say too, like no clutter in the front entryway. One, I kind of need to fix that. I tend to like, we keep our shoes and everything out there, and sometimes we kind of just throw them randomly, and I'm thinking like I need to fix that after learning about this more. But no clutter in any area of your house is like a massive rule of Feng Shui, because it represents like stagnant energy and things that you're maybe ignoring, or things that no longer serve you. So to keep your home like clutter free, it relaxes the mind as well as the space.
Right. And we do talk about regularly like the external is a reflection of what's going on inside. So if you want to feel better internally, I think symbolically keeping your space free of clutter can kind of represent freeing your mind of things that are not serving you as well.
Definitely. I think we recognize that when we clean our houses too. Like, it feels better.
Yes.
Definitely. My first tip is to Feng Shui the home when the seasons change to reflect the energy of the seasons. We talk about this in almost every episode. I really do think everything is related, but certain seasons like winter, for example, is a much slower season, a much more relaxed season. You're going to spend a lot more time in the home. It's kind of nice, one, to rearrange as the seasons change because it kind of represents that change and it helps you move forward and have a new perspective and kind of a new space in a way, which can help you in other ways in your life as well. Like if you're feeling stuck, perfect time to rearrange and use that to create a new perspective within your home, but to also kind of incorporate that with the seasons, like thinking about like what you're going to be doing on a regular basis and how rearranging certain ways might help you with whatever tasks you're going to complete. Or, you know, if you're rearranging for winter time, making a really cozy space can be just great. And really, it kind of makes you more excited to spend time in that space.
Mm-hmm. With recently starting to work from home, setting up my office was like the most exciting thing. Like I had kind of this space that I didn't know what to do with, and then when I kind of had a purpose for it, like everything fell into place, and I felt so good, and I was so excited to like work in that space. And it's still just like a really like high vibe place to go to work in.
Yes, and that makes all the difference too. If you do work from home or spend a lot of time at home, which I mean most people do spend a decent amount of time at their house, right? You want it to be a space that feels good to be in. And sometimes rearranging can make all the difference, because maybe you did feng shui your home and you really loved it, but now you're feeling kind of down or stuck or bored. It's a great time to redo that. What's your next tip?
So next, kind of playing off the plant vibe, of course, and things in general that you can kind of put in your home to help bring more life into it. So plants, they really do vibrate with that like abundant, life-giving energy, and it really encourages like growth and prosperity. So I think it's really important to have plants in your home, and they can kind of be like crystals, you know, like picking plants that resonate with you, that make you feel good and happy. But they also purify the air. So they're actually like cleansing the air in your home, and they kind of welcome harmony as well. And depending on the plant that you pick out, it'll kind of bring in a little bit different of an energy. I know practices in feng shui can be very, very specific, and they recommend not to have cactuses in your home or cacti in your home because like the prickly nature like kind of gives off more of like a resistance vibe. I have a prickly pear cactus in my home, and my very first plant ever was a cactus, and it still makes me feel good. So I do have them in my home, but it's just an interesting concept to think about, you know, when you're picking out your plants. And then also making sure that like if you have dead plants, like let them go. Like don't hang on to the dead plants, because they kind of do carry that like decaying energy, that stagnant energy. So don't carry the dead plants in your home. You know, it kind of makes sense.
It's funny. I have a few planty tips too, but I love them. It's so much, especially like I have asthma and stuff. So having them in my bedroom is really helpful to cleanse the air. And when I was reading about like rules and tips of feng shui, they said always keep them in the bathroom, because that room kind of holds like dirty energy, you know, like it's kind of like what waste that we're no longer holding on to. And so to keep plants in there brings life and cleansing to it. So I liked that one.
Yes. Well, you kind of just brought me into my next tip, so I'll just do it now anyways, because it's a smooth transition. So the bathroom, there's a lot of drains, so it represents like a downward depleting energy, and in feng shui it kind of represents money going down the drain, abundant, you know, kind of losing your abundance. So they do recommend keeping plants in the bathroom. Pothos is a really great plant to keep in there. And you can even get little like lights or like almost like little grow lights to put in there to bring in that like happy, life-giving energy as well. I know like in my own bathroom, there isn't much natural light in there, so it can be difficult to have a plant in there, but that has been a helpful way for me to kind of bring some life into my bathroom. And then they also recommend making sure that you always close your toilet seat, which I feel like just in general, like a hygiene tip, like close your toilet lid. And then also to close the bathroom door. So you're not like leaving that as like a leaky energy route, you know, for energy to leave or to like, you know, go flow down the drains. So keep your bathroom doors closed, toilet seat closed, and then water actually represents the flow of wealth and money. So by putting the plant in the bathroom and keeping your bathroom clean and maybe doing like rituals in your bathroom that are high vibe, like what, you know, you can do like bathtub rituals, like really make that a like a spa like experience, have your crystals, take happy baths, like do things in your bathroom that make it a more abundant place where it's not like this dirty, yucky place where like energy leaves. Make it a place where like abundance can flow.
Yes, I kind of read a lot of the same things too. There was one thing that I do want to add on while we're on the topic, and that is if you have a leaky faucet, make sure you fix it right away, because as you said, water can represent the flow of abundance, and they say that a leaky faucet is the representation of losing money and lack and money flowing down the drain. Yes. I had a faucet that was leaking and it was driving me crazy, and I had that exact same thought before I like came across reading this. I was like, I know I need to fix it because it's making me like worry. Yes. So it was like a bad feeling. My next tip is to use color psychology within your home. We do have a entire episode on color psychology if you want to check that out and learn more about what different colors represent. But I think this is really important within the bedroom, especially your children's bedrooms, to make sure you have calming colors, because if you have stimulating colors, it's going to be really difficult for you or your child to relax and actually get restful sleep in the room. So just keeping it, you know, light, calming, cozy. We want all those vibes. And then colors that are more stimulating, like if you want to use red or bright colors within your home, the best place to do that is in rooms that you're going to eat in, because stimulating colors make us want to eat the food more. So that's kind of the only place I personally would put really stimulating colors. I like to have my home be really relaxing. Otherwise, I'm not like doing too many upbeat things within like my bedroom or my living room. I just wanted to relax, you know, and so I'd like the space to reflect that, as well as having like a color scheme throughout the room so that everything does flow. And then they talk about balancing the elements throughout each room as well. So one thing I read was in bedrooms, even though you can have watercolors, which are calming, you don't want to have water in the bedroom because it is representing like a more active flow, and it also is said to put out the fire or the passion within the bedroom. So you don't want to have an actual water element in the bedroom. But also, you can use color psychology to manifest what you want in your home. So if you want to like manifest more abundance, you can use green throughout different rooms. Or if you want to manifest more joy, maybe you'll paint a room yellow or anything like that. You can use it to manifest. Purple as a royal color. So if you want wealth and royalty, you can put that in a room.
Yeah. Yes, that's actually something that I noted as well, like color magic. We've talked about it in terms of clothing before, and I think, yes, you can absolutely have that reflected in your home as well. The first thing that I did when we bought our house was paint the whole house. I'm like, first of all, it kind of feels good to have that like fresh start, but then you can intuitively or intentionally choose colors that align with what you want to call in, like exactly as you said. And I think I've mentioned this before, but I have green all over my house. I love green. It's grounding, but it also represents love and abundance because it is the color of the heart chakra. And it is just, it's so grounding, but like it just is so abundant at the same time. So it's just, to me, the best color. I love it. I have it all over my house. My kitchen's green. I'm buying green appliances. I'm going crazy. Okay. But I love playing with color magic in my home as well. It's truly...
And the plants. We need all the plants because they're life and abundance. I love it.
Yes. Going off of that, I could continue off the things in your house that kind of bring in good energy. So I would recommend having, first of all, a Himalayan salt lamp in your home. Again, this is going to kind of purify the space, and it neutralizes electromagnetic frequencies, which is really important. So I have one in my bedroom. I use it as a reading light as well because it is it helps like balance your circadian rhythm because it's not too stimulating, it's not too bright, it's very calming, has a nice glow to it.
It's like warm.
Yes. Yes. And so it's really really magical, I would say. And then, you know, welcoming in or using more like candles at night for kind of the same reasons. But candles also, they are the fire element. So it's kind of welcoming in some of that little bit of a fiery energy as well. So be mindful of that. But you can also think about when you're using candles, if you use like tapered candles, you can pick, there's so many different colors. So picking the color of candle that you want to invite in, similar to, you know, color magic on your walls and in your space. You can choose your candles based on what you want to call in, which we do in spells, but also can be used just as you use candles in your home. Crystals, we have a whole episode about crystals, but using crystals to call in and align with the energy that you want for a given room. So like we were talking about the bedroom, crystals that you can keep in your bedroom could be like rose quartz to kind of call in like love and compassion. You could have amethyst to kind of help connect with your intuition and help with like insomnia. Again, this can kind of come back to color magic too. Celestite is a really good crystal for the bedroom. And then a specific crystal that I wanted to talk about was black tourmaline, because that also blocks EMFs. So that can be really helpful to put by your phones, your computers, your routers, to kind of block some of that frequency from being transmitted in your home, especially in your bedroom. I think, you know, the less electromagnetic frequencies you have like surrounding your brain and your body while you're sleeping, the better.
Absolutely. So I went in a salt cave, and when you were talking about the Himalayan salt, it made me think of that. So not only is it like really cozy lighting, but it literally does cleanse the air too, which is really good if you have like allergies or asthma or anything like that, or even a cold. It's really nice to have them. And I want to buy more personally. I want to have them all over my house after that experience. It was really wonderful.
Another thing I could add about salt lamps too is that, you know, if you're making a spell jar, if you're doing spells, like pink salt, which is similar to me, kind of represents a similar energy of rose quartz. So it's going to be like more of that loving energy that it emits as well.
Totally off topic, but I also use that to cook with, and I like say that I'm putting love into my food.
Same.
It's the better salt. The candles as well. We do have an episode on how to get a good night's sleep. Not only does it bring the fire element into your home, but that natural light is so much more relaxing. I take a shower before bed, usually at night, and I have been doing it by candlelight lately, and I always read by candlelight. It is so cozy and relaxing, and it also, like, having candles within the bathroom can help the bathroom smell better and kind of purify the air. It is the best. I highly recommend.
Same. I've been doing, after like a certain time of the day, it's kind of after work now because it's already dark pretty much by the time I get off work. I use candles, like whichever room I'm in, I'll light candles. Like I'll do yoga by candlelight, and then, you know, I'll go like read or something, and then I shower by candlelight. And like
I really don't even need lights.
I don't like lights. And, you know, after a certain time, like I love natural sunlight. Like there's nothing better than basking in natural sunlight. But if she's not out, I don't want light.
I agree. It really does change how mentally calm you are to not using like the LED lights. Makes a massive difference. So if you do struggle to sleep or relax or anything, start using candles instead of lights. I swear it's a game changer. The next tip I have, it does kind of go off of some of the things we said, but always get rid of broken things. Like if you break an item in your home, just get rid of it. I know a lot of people, myself included, have a tendency to be like, oh, well, I still like it, or maybe I could fix it or something, but it just never feels the same. If something is broken or even just old and it doesn't bring you joy anymore, and you look at it and you're like not happy about it, get rid of it. Thank it for its time and service and give it to someone else, get rid of it, give it to Goodwill, whatever. But don't keep that in your home, because it's representing that old stagnant energy within your home, and it's no longer serving you. And if it doesn't feel good, it's not for you.
And you're kind of filling your space, like you're energetically holding on to this item when you could be making space for something even better to fill that space.
Absolutely.
Kind of along those lines is like cleansing the energy of the space. So we talk about, you know, in previous various episodes of like, you know, using a cleansing wand to clear the energy of your space. So I think that can be really important. And something I do just to myself, you know, after a crazy day or something, I will cleanse myself. I will cleanse any new things coming into my home, especially if they were pre-owned. So if I get something from an antique store, it's getting cleansed before it's like truly being welcomed into my home. I think that's super important. And then going off of the sunlight. So letting the sunlight in your home when it's out, you know, like opening the windows, letting the sun in, it actually purifies the space. So I think that can be really important, along with like opening windows and doors in your home. Obviously we can't do that right now in the middle of winter, but opening the doors, opening the windows, letting fresh air in to come in and like cleanse your space. I think that is so important, and I cannot wait until it's a little bit warmer.
Same.
So I can do that. It just smells better. It feels better. It's like, on a different note, like after when you like let your bedding dry outside or something and you bring that back in, just the smell and the groundingness of the outdoors is just like everything to me.
There's no better air purifier than Mother Nature itself, definitely. My next tip was to kind of follow these rules. So the first one is not to place your bed directly in front of your bedroom door. They say it's okay to have it so you can like see the bedroom door, so you know if someone's going to come in, but if you have your bed facing your bedroom door, it's inviting in that more active energy from the rest of your house, and you don't want that where you're trying to sleep and relax. Another one is don't place a mirror directly in front of your bed. I'm kind of bad with these mirror rules because I love mirrors and I do have them all over my home. But that is one thing that they say is going to expand and absorb energy, and it can take away from a restful sleep. And the next rule is to be careful about mirror placement because of that. So you don't want to put a mirror directly in front of your front door in case, like, say that there's a busy street or something in front of your front door. You don't want to invite and expand that energy into your home. But like if you have a big beautiful backyard that's facing like a woods or stream or something like that, you might want to place the mirror reflecting that so it can bring in more of that energy.
So my last two kind of play off of what you had said. So I had mirror stuff, basically the same thing you had said, and then a little bit more information about your bedroom. So no TVs or electronics. One, EMFs and TVs, they kind of act like mirrors in that they kind of bounce energy around. So even just having a TV in your room, whether or not it's on, it just kind of makes it kind of like a hectic place energetically. And then sleep is so important. So really being mindful of how you set up your bedroom is so important so that you have restful sleep so that you can show up, as your best self. A lot of the things or tips that go into creating a harmonious bedroom is around creating symmetry. So, having an end table on both sides and like having the pillows the same on both sides and just kind of creating symmetry in your room. They can get so specific to where like your nightstand should be level with your bed instead of like being, a few inches higher, because that creates like this feeling of like worry or something. So just being very particular about how you set up your bedroom. And it is recommended not to store stuff underneath your bed because it disrupts the good energy from flowing throughout your room.
Makes sense. So I would say, obviously, like we're always saying, Feng Shui is very intuitive, and the number one rule is that it must feel good to you. If you're looking at your room or your house and you're like, it just feels chaotic, it doesn't feel relaxing, or it bothers you, there's mismatching things that you don't like, that's your sign to change it.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree. And I feel like if you're thinking of your home as a whole, it can be overwhelming. Like, I want to change this and this and that. But pick a room and start from there. Maybe the room that you're most excited to change or that you spend the most time in, and start with that room and think about like what you want it to feel like. And one of my favorite ways to help myself envision and create a like delicious space is Pinterest. I love creating Pinterest boards for specific rooms in my house. So I'll like create one for my bathroom, and I will kind of use that to create a mood board for my space. And then I can kind of find things that align with that feel good to me in that space. And I feel like that helps me know how I'm going to feel once the space looks that way, because you can kind of tell how you feel by looking at your mood board if that is the energy that you want it to be. So that has been really helpful.
Yes.
tip.
So we're always talking about visualization in manifestation, and I think I love that tip. And also, even if you're like, well, I don't want to necessarily like buy a bunch of new stuff, but I want to rearrange, visualizing how the room's going to feel. I'll do that before I move anything. This is a lot of work moving furniture, and I'll think about like, okay, if I put the couch over here, then where will I put this? And I'll organize it in my head before I do it and see kind of how it flows and how it feels prior to moving anything. It makes it a lot easier on me, but it also makes it so satisfying when it's done. I'm like, oh yes, this is exactly what I visualized, exactly what I wanted.
Yes, exactly. It's so fun. It can be so fun. And it's so important to make your home a reflection of how you want to feel.
Absolutely. If you're feeling down at all, instead of Netflix and chilling, rearrange your room or your house. I highly recommend it. On that note, shall we pull a card?
Yes. So today we're pulling from the Wild Mystic Oracle card set. So I think it's a little more like animal based, right? Or is that a different one that you have? Yeah. So I'm excited to see what the message of the day is. As always, this is a good opportunity for you to take a moment to reflect, take a pause, maybe get out your journal and see what's coming up for you.
Ooh. Oh, I love this card.
Mystery. There's two kitty cats with a crown. This is so beautiful. Their tails are kind of entangled together. And if you are on Spotify or YouTube, I have it on the screen here.
There's an upside down crescent moon below them, and they're in a triangle, and there's stars in it. Are there mushrooms in there? I love this card.
There might be. There's some really pretty like plants.
This card represents mystery and magic, from the animal familiars of European folklore and witchcraft to the totems and spirit animals of shamanic practice and many North American indigenous cultures. People the world over have viewed animals as guides into the realm of magic. and the inner workings of the soul. This card symbolizes a gateway into magic, mystery, or dream, whether that manifests through faith, spirituality, or magical practice. Cats were sacred animals in the ancient Egyptian society and were associated with many deities, including Isis and Bastet. In Norse mythology, cats are said to draw Freya's chariot, while in the Muslim faith, the creatures are revered due to their cleanliness. In Chinese folklore, cats were considered the original caretakers of the earth. The card may represent a powerful magical or divine influence. The cat is both independent and social. They are both caring, empathetic creatures and deadly predators. Cats are complex beings who may be hard to read. This card reminds us that magic can be difficult to interpret, but to trust in what the universe has in store for you. And I recommend having a cat in your home. The shadow reading reversed says, on the surface, the shadow reading of this card may warn you of ill omens, malicious individuals, or ill wishes. The cat has often been maligned by folklore and Christian history as a portent of bad luck and evil. This is primarily a result of the demonization of cats as witches, familiars during the European and early American witch trials, and has sadly endured as a superstition today. The shadow meaning of this card may warn you against seeing misfortune or curses where there are none. Superstitions can be a simple coincidence, and bad luck does not necessarily indicate a curse. The element is spirit. The flora, like the flowers, are primrose, carnation, catnip, cinquefoil, myrrh, and violet. Stones are labradorite, lapis lazuli, merlinite, and opal. Oh, I love all those. Spellwork, past life regression, divination, seeking answers, amplifying other spellwork, Samhain ritual. That's Halloween. We had a whole episode on that, and we talk about the history of cats in that as well. But I think that this can kind of represent the energy that you have within your home and kind of how you want to arrange things, especially in the entryway. Think about the energy that you're inviting into the home, the energy that you're allowing to stay in the home, and what you want to manifest.
Yes. Make it your magical castle.
Yes.
I love it. That's so good. I love this deck.
Yes.
So fun.
All right. Well, with that, we hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for joining us, for raising the frequency. Have fun rearranging.
We'll see you next time. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.